I would like to thank Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There are so many others that I could thank, yet, for the subject I am fulfilling, he is the perfect candidate to bring to light. I am happy to join with you after the likes of such an inspirational leader for equality, such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I have such big shoes to fill, yet I will leave even bigger shoes for the next person willing to fight for equality throughout races. I am proud to say that we have come such a long way since the late Dr. King. Yet in my heart, I feel he would still see flaws. What does self love mean to you? Do you like what you see in the mirror? Or is the value of yourself determined through the depiction of beauty force fed through media? Honestly, do you look at yourself as a unique individual that is perfectly you and no one will ever be you? Or is your mind clouded on how it should be? I think any reasonable and logical person can agree that children's minds are sponges. I have always been the type of person to say, do what you want with me, but leave my family out of it. With that being said, parents need to know there is a war on race, and the weapons are televisions. The media will teach your kids inequality if you don't pay attention to what your kids are watching. The concern becomes global because the simple fact of kids being involved. Anyone with a television is relevant to this war, yet the main focus are the kids. Any reasonable adult would agree that education plays a major factor in children. Also, that any normal child watches an uncharted amount of television on a daily basis. To say which one they do more or remember more is highly debatable. Yet, the fact of myself being in my early 20s, I can say when I was a child, we had memory class. I never memorized the homework, yet I always knew the lyrics to my favorite song or knew when my favorite show was coming on. No matter how old you are, media has had an effect on your perception of race. If not for the bad, then for the good. Whether television, radio, or any other media source. The media stereotypes every race/gender, and it plays a major role on how viewers portray individuals of each race. According to racestereotypes.com, there are stereotypes for all races, but not all races are victimized or discriminated against because of those stereotypes. Since media is still mostly controlled by whites, they have the power to act on their racial biases to a much greater extent than any other race. I believe that a lot of people see stereotypes as comedy or something that's not potentially harmful. Yet I see stereotyping for exactly what it is. It is surely detrimental to people's well being and the world's future as a whole. Here goes a few stereotypes I see portrayed throughout the media. African people bad, African American people bad, white people good, Mexican people 10 jobs, Chinese people smart, African people starving, Japanese people karate, and Arabian people terrorists. Now, is everybody in those racial categories the stereotype that the media is portraying them as? Any logical person would say no. I have definitely been stereotyped my whole life. I have a nice sized wallet that takes up a majority of my pocket every time I walk into a store. Employees and security guards are looking at my pockets like I have something in them that I'm not supposed to have. It is very sickening. So now I just save myself the hassle by walking around with the wallet in my hand. It shouldn't be like that. Another example would be some of my skateboarding buddies and me were skating this spot a while back. They saw a guy with a turban on and immediately started joking, saying we should leave before he blows us all to shreds. Another one of my buddies said, I wish my religion had multiple virgins waiting on me in the afterlife. I didn't find it funny, but they sure did. The media is masking pure hatred as comical stereotyping, and it is rubbing off on everyone's viewing. I don't like television one bit. Now, if they had sports without the commentary, maybe. But as a whole, television is not needed. Until stereotypes have vanished, television will be the crutch keeping racism alive and flourishing. Stereotypes are definitely inequality, and that is surely being portrayed on television. I cannot really talk for any other race than my own. I don't really believe that the majority of black people realize how close we are to becoming slaves again, and how close we were from being slaves ourselves. I am 21. I was born in 1993. Slavery didn't officially end until 1865. That is 128 years before I was born. Not long at all. I think my people feel it is a coincidence that we were born after slavery and after segregation. I feel my people feel that there's nothing else to fight for and don't see that if we don't change media, our kids or our kids' kids will be slaves. There is a war on race. The weapons are televisions. The media plays favorites. White people are shown more than any other race in media. And I don't see it as just a coincidence. I see it as a strategized plan to condition us for the unknown. Let's play a game. No, let's play a couple games. Who's your favorite superhero and villain? What are their races? In your favorite romantic movie, what race is the couple? In your favorite comedy movie, what is the race of the main character? In your favorite action movie, what is the race of the main character? In your favorite horror movie, what is the race of the main character? What's your favorite television show that's not a cartoon? And what is the race of the majority of the main characters? What's your favorite cartoon? And if any race, what is in it? What is your favorite book? And what race do you envision the characters being? I am going to give you my answers to these questions, yet I want you to get where I'm going with this. Are all the characters white or the majority? My favorite superhero would have to be the Hulk, and my favorite villain would have to be Bullseye off Daredevil. Both are Caucasian. My favorite romantic movie would have to be Baby Boy. The couple is black. My favorite comedy is Meet the Fockers. The main character is Caucasian. My favorite action movie is Dracula Untold. The main character is Caucasian. My favorite horror movie is All the Chuckies. The main character is Caucasian. My favorite television show is World's Dumbest. It has a variety of races in it. My favorite cartoon is Jimmy Neutron. The main character is Caucasian. My favorite book is The Husband by Dean Koontz. And I envisioned the characters as Caucasian. The majority of all my answers are Caucasian. Let's play one final game. I want you to turn on your television with a sheet of blank paper in your hand. Draw a dividing line in the middle of the paper and surf through each channel. Don't spend more than 3 seconds on each channel, and tally the first race you see on each channel. Put white people on one side and the other races on the other side. When I did this, it came back unspeakably lopsided. As a child, I went through the phase of acting like every character that I liked. It was hard to act like Tarzan because of my skin complexion. Children are our future, and racism/stereotypes keep us as a whole from moving forward to self-love and love for everybody. Recently, I came across a YouTube video named Doll Test. I advise everybody to take a look at the video. This video is a sad portrayal on how media can be detrimental to people's views of others and themselves, especially children. I know for a fact media was detrimental to my view of myself as a child. Media is a major problem that needs construction. As a child, I remember coming home from school and telling my mother I wanted to be white. I guess finding out that my ancestors were slaves didn't sit well with my past self. I was distraught, torn between the two. I wanted something that could never happen, and everybody I loved was black. I couldn't understand how all my ancestors were slaves. I later found out that all my ancestors weren't slaves, and I wasn't being lied to, but I was being told half of the truth. Now, when I watch the History Channel, I still see the same half truth that I was being told back in grade school, that all my ancestors were slaves. The media will never tell that there were black people before slavery. As a child, when I was taught that my ancestors were slaves, I had the impression that every single one of my ancestors were slaves. That is a false accusation because there were black people before slavery, and I was never taught that. The media has a whole bunch of half truths in it, and I refuse to enjoy it because of that. It makes me sick that I can't just watch the History Channel and get the whole truth about my history. That needs to change. Children are looking at television and believing it as facts, yet it is hogwash. In the case of the doll test, little black kids don't like their skin color, and little white and Mexican kids think that black is ugly. There is not another conclusion other than the media is fogging their perception by stereotyping. Times are changing, and with change comes good and bad. My personal goal would be to eradicate racism slash stereotypes in the media, or just get rid of televisions as a whole. I wish to get my video sent to the White House and all the media outlets. Thank you.